Painting with Menoth John is presented in Super Legitivision. Super Legitivision, the future of podcasting. It's .com.
Hello, I'm
Menoth John.
and I'd like to welcome you. First of all, let me take just a moment to thank you for allowing me back into your homes. If this is your first time with us, let me extend a personal invitation for you to drag out your
miniatures
and paint along with us each week. Let's go over to the canvas here and let's get started. I believe, every day's a good day when you paint. I believe, it'll bring a lot of good thoughts to your heart. I believe, every day's a good day when you paint. I believe, it'll bring a lot of good thoughts to your heart. Let's build a happy little cloud. Let's build some happy little trees. There are no limits here. You start out by believing here. You can almost paint with anything. All you have to do is practice.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, all you've got to do is practice, and practice makes perfect, and we are streaming in 6D right now. You know, folks, Twitch wasn't enough. It couldn't handle the truth. Oh my God. So much energy, it blew the focus out on the camera there for a second. Ladies and gentlemen, you have tuned in to the fastest 90 minutes. This side of this death clock doesn't have 60 minutes. You know, we are something you can do on a Sunday night that doesn't involve commercials or broadcast television or illegal drugs. We prefer the legal kind. So, ladies and gentlemen, you are watching the Painting with Menoth John Sunday Night Experience and Sunday Night Extravaganza. I am your host, Mr. Menoth John. Up in the catbird seat, of course, we have the wind beneath my wing, the greatest co-host in all of recorded history, Mr. John Spencer.
Jesus, you're selling it kind of hard this time.
Fuck yeah, baby. I felt like the introductions have been a little low energy recently, so I'm kicking it up a notch. And with us, we have fully medicated, and not by booze, the official mascot of the Painting with Menoth John show, the Irrational Gonzo. Hey. And then, of course, down in the less than catbird seat, we'll call it the canary seat, we have with us from the Troll Blood Scrum, the inimitable Fraser Belfour.
Evening, folks.
I don't know what inimitable means, but it sounded good.
I was going to ask you because I don't know either.
No, it means super awesome and full of love. So we are here tonight. We've got a great show tonight because we are going to talk about something that, as a podcast, we're very proud of, and I know the Troll Blood Scrum is very proud of, and there's a number of communities out there are very proud of it, and that is charity. If there's one thing that this particular game has kind of made its own, is the fact that we care about others, and we really do try to do more for those who have less, or who are facing strong challenges in their life. And folks, if anybody has seen me with my underwear on my head, you know the kind of lengths that we will go to make sure that we can raise money for juvenile diabetes. That was 1,500 and some change. We did cut that check, and it was received by the Juvenile Research Fund thing that we sent it to, and it was super sweet and totally legit. And so we're gonna be talking about that, and we have major announcements tonight on the charity front. But before we get there, you know that one of the things that makes this show famous, not only on this planet but other planets, is the fact that we start off with a beverage update. And tonight I am drinking an oldie but a goodie. This is from Southern Tier Brewing Company. This is Warlock. This is 10% alcohol by volume. I'm only having one, but if you're going to have one, you should get one that's approximately the size of your head. So, boom. As you can see, it is approximately the size of my head. John, what are you having for a drinky poo tonight?
Well, I'm going to start with a shot of Sortilege, the last Sortilege in the house, and then followed up with a Smirnoff Ice screwdriver. But to be fair, I've been drinking since about noon, so
excellent. Gonzo, what kind of narcotics are you on?
I'm on hydrocodone.
Hydrocodone. 9 out of 10 football players in the NFL are on hydrocodone. Just ask Brett Favre.
No, I had to. I guess I jacked up my back a little bit. I got some vertebrae that are not aligned properly, and so I was like, "Oh, let's go take a couple of those."
Outstanding. Fraser, I understand you are drinking alcohol and not narcotics. Jesus, what the hell, Gonzo? Where did that coffee
it's
cup
my
come
coffee.
from? Jesus. Just straight in from the Tom Petty video, that coffee cup. Holy shitballs. All right, Fraser, what are you having for a drink here at the beginning part of the show?
So I'm starting off, actually, it's a tribute to JP from your charity event where everyone had sours, so I decided to bring a sour.
Very nice.
From a local brewery. It's Shuttlecock. It's a kettle sour made with cranberries, raspberries, blueberries, and hemp. It's got a fancy hemp. There we go.
Shuttlecock.
So I'm trying that. It's 5.3% alcohol, so it's 750 milliliters. Once I'm done that, I've got some Sortilege Premium, the prestige stuff, the 7-year age stuff I may crack into. I think I shared some of that with you at the Sioux.
You did, and it was quite Sortilege. Is that how you actually pronounce it correct?
So I probably am mispronouncing it because I'm notorious for mispronouncing everything I say.
Yeah, but you're fucking Canadian. You've got like plus 10 to credibility when it comes to Sortilege.
I get paid not to speak French. That's the way that it works.
Outstanding. Well, on behalf of Canada and other countries, hey, Ron.
Ron.
Well, folks.
JP would hate it.
I know, right? Maybe we can get a face. I'll try to do a face like JP. Anyway. So want to get everybody up to speed. A couple things. I'm going to be painting some high shields tonight, but I thought I should probably very quickly just put on the painting cam here for just a second. We're going to swoop that bad boy in. I want to show everybody where I've gone with the siege toilet. Woo, here it comes. Ooh, scary. All right, there you go. There's the that, and we're going to put the lighting on it. And here you go, folks. This is the siege toilet. If I can get it to stop shaking the camera, that would be super sweet. All right, so as you can see, I've done a whole bunch of weathering on it, and it's put a lot of rust on it. I did a little bit of the nickel oxide on the let's see here, on the coppers and stuff like that to show a little patina, and I think it turned out. I think it turned out pretty good.
No,
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah,
What paint did you use for the copper?
So my coppers, I really love doing gold medals. To be honest with you, I love these coppers. I start off with Rulic Gold from the Privateer press line, and then what I do is I wash it with Reichland Flesh Shade from Citadel. Okay, and then after that, what I do is I come back with Vallejo polished gold. I can't tell you the number of times I thought this was Polish gold, which is different. Polish gold would be like that's like a cabbage roll. That's Polish gold.
Jesus Christ.
So, but I think here's the overhead view. That's the view most people will have of this model. And then there's the underside view, which most people will not have of this model. And
I like that view.
And here's a side view. But if folks remember, this is the model that I was painting during the all-day, the base at least, I was painting this during the all-day broadcast. And I'm real happy with how it turned out. The last thing I've got to do with it is I'm going to come along on the backside here, and I'm going to do a little bit of OSL on the boiler section here, just to kind of give a little bit of an orange and yellow glow. I was thinking about doing some in here, but I got to think about that a little bit. I'm not so sure. That doesn't seem to be someplace that there would be necessarily orange glow, but back here I think there would be. So I'm pretty happy with it. I don't play a lot of Mercs, so I don't know how crazy I'm going to get with it, but I think it turned out pretty okay. So
Yeah, it looks good.
yeah.
No, it looks really good.
So I'll put that guy back there, turn off this camera, and go back to the face cam, and then get all this shit out of my face. Turn that off here, flip that up, move the camera out of the way, boom, and we're back to full broadcast strength at this point. There we go. Folks, it's been a while since we've told you to get on over to patreon.com/menoffjohn, but if you haven't done that yet, that would be a great way to keep the lights on this show. We don't advertise as much as we used to. We don't have any sponsors anymore, but because folks have been so generous with the Patreon. John, did you know that 9 out of 10 people who join the Patreon, as far as we know, enjoy it?
I did not know that, but I assumed as much.
Fuck that 10th guy. Anyway, so we could really use the help. We could really use your support. We do have we've got we're streaming now across 2 different platforms. Not that costs anything more, but we've got John set up now to be able to do the podcast. We appreciate your help kind of keeping the lights on and helps keep the technology moving forward. So any thoughts on Patreon, John?
Well, keep your eye out. More co-host corners coming. You don't have to be a patron to get the Adventures of Sewer Bear, but there might be some Sewer Bear extras coming that are patron only. Maybe a Sewer Bear pre-ramble, because there's some gold there. You can learn all about gardening and not eating vegetables and such.
But you see, the reason I garden is so I can eat vegetables.
Well, Norin does not eat vegetables, and he's very committed, and probably should be.
Wow. I hope he poops okay.
I have not asked him about his poop, but let's be honest. As long as he doesn't do it here, I don't care.
Well, folks, on behalf of Norin's colon, I think we should all have a moment of silence, because if there's one thing, John, I think that we can all agree on here is that this absolutely stands for, this podcast stands for Happy Poops. So on behalf of that coffee, coffee is a great help for pooping. If you have not pooped in a while, get yourself a big cup of coffee. That'll do it. Cold brew from Starbucks is awesome. It's like someone dropped an atomic bomb in your ass. So
flows through you.
Mm-hmm. So Norin, don't keep that poop inside, or it'll turn into cancer and kill you. We don't want that. All right. So I think that's probably enough non sequitur, don't you think, John?
Oh, we'll have more later, but yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
for
probably
now.
a good place for now. So, folks, one of the things we definitely want to talk a little bit about on tonight's show, and this is why we have Fraser with us from the Troll Blood Scrum, is to actually we should probably introduce you a little bit more thoroughly, because we discussed who you are and all that kind of good stuff during the pre-ramble, which you can only get if you're a patron at patreon.com/menothjohn. Fraser, you're from the Troll Blood Scrum podcast. Tell us a little bit about your show.
So we are the Troll Blood focused podcast. It's been along for almost as long as John has. Mm-hmm. Currently, we have 3 or 4 hosts. We are on Wednesday nights on the Moose Machine Network at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. And you can watch us on Twitch or YouTube after. Much like we pointed out during that the gamers or the podcasters podcast at the Sioux, where we found out that Menoth John was on at 7 Eastern multiple times.
Yeah, yes, exactly. That was a little elitist, actually.
That was so Troll Blood. We try to bring in different people to talk about Troll Bloods. We have a very positive attitude, so we try to bring some people with a little bit of different attitudes towards trolls. And right now we're in an interesting place, so it's we always have some good discussions, good people, and I try to rope more and more people in to join us for different episodes. So check us out.
Absolutely, check them out. I think that one of the things that we're certainly most aligned with on this show is people that take the game as a game. And I know that you guys have that attitude. You're about having the fun and having a good time, trying to unlock that nut, trying to understand how to get the most out of what you're getting, but not going to get down on anything either.
Oh, exactly. And that's the thing we found is there's been a bit of less than positive conversations going on in some of the Facebook groups, or the Troll Blood Facebook group, where people are feeling that we're the worst faction, and I don't think we are. I just think there's a little more work we need to do and sort of figure out some unlock it and not take all the same models all the time. But I play trolls. I've been playing trolls for like 4 years. I'm going to continue to play trolls because they're my favorite faction. I love them, and I'll play them regardless. I just have to figure out if I'm losing because it's me as not a very good player, or if it's the faction's fault. So I always just blame it on myself and say that's why I never win, is because it's just me playing them, not the faction itself.
It is because of one of your co-hosts, Dallas, that I own trolls, and it's because that guy used to just beat me like a rented mule every time I'd show up at the LGS, and it was all about trolls. And they used to frustrate the hell out of me. So that's why when they became, I got a line on a pretty damn good deal on a whole bunch of trolls models. I was like, yep, I got to get into that and have some fun. And I've never looked back. I've certainly enjoyed playing the trolls and all that kind of good stuff. But we share another passion, and that's helping others. And that's
indeed.
And that's kind of the topic of tonight's show. Is we want to talk about charity, and we're going to get to painting here eventually. Don't worry about it. I've got some high shields that are just literally not burning a hole in my pocket to paint even a little. Care less if I literally ever complete these things, but I'll
hatred.
Yeah, sorry. But I'll get to them eventually. But we're going to talk a little bit about some charity stuff coming up. You have been running Fraser, do you think we should just show the promo first, or do you want to talk a little bit about Battle for Breath first?
Either one. I can give a bit of background. Actually, why don't we run the promo, because that actually saves me having to ramble on for a little bit.
Okay, folks.
If you have that queued up.
I absolutely do have that queued up, because XSplit is for the win. Anyway, so here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Watch your screens. It's not quite as technically awesome as I'd hoped it would, but here you go. Here it is, Battle for Breath.
Battle for Breath, the War Machine and Hordes tournament in support of cystic fibrosis. Saturday, June 3rd at Black Knight Games in Hamilton, Ontario. War Machine Charity Tournament. Can't make it to the event in Hamilton? Every donation to the Battle for Breath cystic fibrosis page gets you tickets. We have score-tacular prizes this year, including Pillars of Alok made by Aaron the Dreammaker, Xerxes 1 painted by Dallas Kemp from Privateer Press, The Legends of Alok painted by Man Room Painting, and a Desert Hydra painted to order with LEDs and custom foam. Plus, you can enter to win an appearance on one of these awesome podcasts, including Beer Machine, Painting with Men Off John, This Death Clock Has 60 Minutes, or Troll Blood Scrum. Full raffle details and links can be found in the description section below. Thank you for supporting cystic fibrosis, and remember, someone's winning the Pillars of Halak.
Yeah, so there you go. Really excellent promo, guys.
That was legit.
Great.
My family leaves the house when I do that, because I can never do it on one take, and it annoys the crap out of them.
Sunday.
It kills my throat.
You grew up watching a couple too many drag racing advertisements.
Monster trucks, but yeah, it's the Buffalo Channel used to air that stuff all the time. So yeah, so Battle for Breath, this is the second year we've done it. It's a charity that I started sort of inspired by the guys that did Food Machine, seeing that there was something like that. And so I thought it'd be a nice something to do where I could run a tournament where I could not necessarily have to run the actual rules part, because I'm still not good enough to be a judge, but I can help set that up. So I reached out to Mark from Combo Smite, and he helped. We set up something locally, got a few people. Through promoting it, Aaron the Dreammaker reached out, and he actually provided us Wrathrock, which was we were kind of surprised, because we knew he was making one, but in secret he was making two, and he wound up donating it to us since he realized that we were having a raffle. And that's the one thing I did a little bit different than a lot of the tournaments or events that you see that are local tournament charity events, where we actually made it so the raffle was available. Anyone in the world could enter. We were piggybacking on the cystic fibrosis. They have an annual walk in May. So if people would make a donation to the CF walk page, and then as a thank you for them donating to that page, they would get raffle tickets. So we had one of the models we had, Schnauzer Face Mini. So Andrew, who does a lot of painting tutorials, painted up an Earthborn model that looked absolutely gorgeous. That went to a gentleman out in the UK. We had some stuff go back down. Wrathrock went down to a gentleman in Texas. We had some, so people all over the world were able to enter it. So it was a big success. It was actually, we beat our goal. We were aiming for about 2,000. We raised in the end about just under 4,500 between the raffle and the actual tournament event itself. One of the people that showed up was Tim Banky, the much known and much loved judge and personality of War Machine. And he suggested actually running it at his store next year because it has the setup. We can stream, we can do a lot more with it. And that way he didn't have to bring like 10 tables on the roof of his car, which he wound up doing for us for the first one. So so we've done the same thing. So sort of the same model where people can enter anywhere in the world, just make the donation to the CF page, and then you get the raffle tickets, and you let us know what you're putting your tickets against. And I've pestered and annoyed and prodded all my podcasting friends and other people I know to make donations. So this year we had Dallas Kemp on the Troll Blood Scrum just after he painted up that Mad Drak 3. So I reached out to him, and he's painted up a Xerxes 1, keeping along the theme of the Scorn this year. The model, I haven't seen it yet. Everything goes to Rich in Buffalo, and I'm going to pick it up from him later on, closer to the event. But it's going to be good. And the funny part is the pillars for lock, which are made by Aaron as well. They were actually donated to Food Machine, the big event that's run in Buffalo. And part of the reason I went down is because Rich came up to my event, so I want to make sure support and go back down and go to the Buffalo Food Machine. I actually won the pillars as the draw, so I was able to, as much as I like, they're gorgeous, they're fantastic to look at. I just don't have, I'm not a Scorn player, so I'd rather have someone who's a fan of Scorn owe them. So I basically have just sort of repurposed them as the key prize for us here, and it saves Aaron having to make another big weapon for us for this year. So he's probably, I'll ask him for one for next year. But they're fantastic. John, you got the chance to see them at the Sioux, did you not?
Yeah, they're amazing. You know, Aaron is an amazing craftsman, and I tell you, that's such a cool thing that you're doing with repurposing them. You know, a lot of times when a lot of us who are kind of starting some of these fledgling charity type events, the one of the tough things to do is how do you get prize support? And you know, there's so many generous people, but you know, the first JohnCon that we did, most of the surprise support came from repurposed prize support that I had won at other different things. And I may not have a use for it, but they're all in top-notch condition. Why not just repurpose that and make some money for the charity of your choice by pushing it back out? Yeah, look at that thing.
Exactly.
Look at that damn thing.
And they're deceptively heavier than they are. We talked about this. These things they look huge. They're actually only 8 pounds, but because they're so top heavy, they feel like about 15 or 16 pounds. And you realize quickly that you have no upper body strength when you try to pick these things and put them above your head.
That just goes to show you what a badass Xerxes is, right?
Oh, exactly.
Oh yeah,
exactly. So that's amazing. So I mean, you know, that's a wonderful, wonderful charity that you've got going on there. And you know, folks, that it doesn't have to be difficult. One of the things I kind of picked up on is this raffle ticket idea that you came up with. How, when you were setting this up with cystic fibrosis, how do you know who donated through to the website and how many tickets they should get? How did you work that?
So I reached out. Just a bit of background. My daughter has cystic fibrosis, so I work with with that group on a regular basis, volunteering sometimes, and they do an annual walk, which we always wind up raising funds for as well. So I'm aware of the coordinator there. So I reached out to them initially and said, "This was my idea. I just need to know. Can you tell me who's signed up and who's registered to donate to to my team page?" And they've basically validate that. So I sort of, as we talked in the pre-show, when I do this stuff, I do it on the cheap. So I basically have the CF page, which people donate to, and then again as a thank you, because you're not getting anything from the Cystic Fibrosis Canada the foundation, because it's a donation. They don't give you something for a donation. We as the charity, we as the tournament are giving you something as a thank you. So it's two separate parties.
Got it.
But what I have is a Google Forms where you put your name, the amount you donated, the day you donated, and then you put your tickets towards what you've done. And depending on the dollar amount that you donate, that determines the number of tickets you get. So
makes sense.
You donate between $1 and $50, you get $1 per ticket. You go from 51 to 100, you get two tickets for each dollar, and then anything over $100, you get 3 tickets per dollar.
That's fantastic.
I should point out to the U.S. and the international listeners that that's Canadian dollars.
Holy shit!
So if you're donating and you're getting about $1.30 to your $1 Canadian, so you're getting more value for it.
I could donate $1,000 and like have 4 million tickets. This would be amazing.
Pretty much. Yeah,
it'd be amazing.
And then so what we do
conversion.
yeah,
It's metric dollars. Yeah.
So and to make it even to entice people even more, what we've done, we did this last year, but I don't think it got the word got out there very well.
You included a Ginsu.
What's that?
But you included a Ginsu knife. But wait, there's more.
Of course, Ginsu.
Exactly.
And there's more. The when you go to the page, you can either make a donation to the team page, or you can become a member of the team. And by becoming a member of the team, you can get people to donate to you. So say your spouse or your friends or family want to donate to you. They donate under your name as part of the Battle for Breath. That doubles your tickets. So for example, if you donate $100, you would normally get 300 tickets. You get raise $100, you're getting 600 tickets. So there's a way to get even more that way. And the top fundraiser gets one of those really cool dice trays from Aaron. He's made one. It's made out of 100-year-old reclaimed oak. So this is oak that's older than all of us, probably combined. At least John and I combined. And it's a dice tray. So we're giving that away for the top fundraiser. So last year, I think Phil, one of our local players, got it. I think he raised about $70, $80 on his own. But that's something where it's an easy way to get extra tickets and then even more chance of getting it. So, and just a quick side note, I know Aaron's not here, so doesn't sound like I'm kissing up to him. I've seen his dice trays, like I have one, and I've seen the wormwood ones, the licensed ones.
Yeah.
Heads and shoulders, that's the term. Heads and shoulders above. Like the quality of his dice trays are fantastic.
Aaron is
that's not a slight against Wormwood at all.
No.
The Wormwood trays are good.
They're nice trays, but these are like the next level up.
Yeah, definitely.
Aaron is a true craftsman. I mean, and the passion that he has for woodworking shows in everything that he touches. And
for charity. I mean, the man just keeps giving and giving and giving. Like I don't this year, he's done as much on the prize support piece, gathering all those, than I have. So this is almost more his charity event than it is mine. I'm the one doing all the social media stuff, but this would not be as good as prolific is the word I guess I'm looking for, as if it weren't for the fact that Aaron was helping out this year. So a big shout out to Aaron for that.
Now, Fraser, we're going to make sure that we talk about where they can go to donate to Battle for Breath. Where we're going to mention it a couple times during the course of the show because we get people to come in and go and what have you. So if someone wants to get involved with Battle for Breath, what is the best way for them to find the site to make sure that they can get their donations in?
Well, I was hoping to get the battleforbreath.com domain from the person that had it before me, but he never wound up helping out with that. So
what a dick.
The easiest way right now is to do a search on Facebook for Battle for Breath charity tournament, and that'll bring you to our page. It also has details on the actual tournament event, which is June 3rd at Black Knight Games in Hamilton. That's Tim Banky's store. We have room for 32 people. I know there's a number of people in my local medal that are going, and we've actually had some people as far away as Pennsylvania say they were interested in coming up for it as well. So we've got. I would suggest if you're interested, make sure you let us know on that Facebook page. Let us know, and all the links for donating to the CF page and for the raffle page are both posted there and on YouTube. So if you do a search for Battle for Breath 2017, you'll see the two annoying videos I created that have all the links in there as well.
Well, John Spencer, once again fulfilling his role as the best co-host in the fucking business, just tossed a link in the chat room to that Facebook site. So, Brushheads, I highly recommend. This is a 100% Menoth John approved charity type event. Get on over there, donate till it hurts, donate it till your underwear is on your head. Get on over there and help out Fraser and help out kids that are struggling to breathe and who need our help. And get on over there, and I know that I'm going to be getting over there to do some donation. I haven't yet, but I will be. And a special shout out once again to Aaron the Dream Maker. He is one of the true saints in the community when it comes to this kind of stuff, and just God damn, the nicest guy you ever want to meet in your whole life, too. I had the pleasure of meeting him at Lock and Load, and he is just the greatest fella ever. So Thanks again to him. We're gonna keep on talking about this about your event, but we have a major announcement. Yes, John?
Well, one thing before that, if you guys have any trouble finding that, just hit me up on Facebook or Twitter. I will shoot you the link there if you have any problems.
Yep, 100%. We are going to help you get over to the Battle for Breath because that is a very, very important thing that we get out and we support, folks. It's that time, John.
It is.
It is. So we teased that we had a major announcement. That when it comes to this particular thing that we want to talk about, certain stars had to align, certain groups had to be engaged. We had to have talks. We had to have special meetings in certain places, and all of those things crystallized this week to bring you this, ladies and gentlemen. There it is, folks. JohnCon 2017, bitches. I'm telling you, it's on. We are now scheduled to have JohnCon. Save the date, folks. This is September 8th, 9th, and 10th. September 8th, 9th, and 10th in Racine, Wisconsin. God damn it. There's nothing. If you had to pick a place that could rival Hamilton for being the asshole of civilization, it is Racine, Wisconsin. But ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be the place to be on September 8th, 9th, and 10th. We have secured the venue. And folks, there are few venues like this anywhere in the world. We have the Moose Lodge. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on Moose Machine. I have joined the Moose Lodge, and we will be at the Moose Lodge 2017. You can't see me. You can't see me. We are talking about JohnCon 2017. We are going to have a bartender. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have a bartender at JohnCon 2017 that will serve you drinks if you pay them. Ladies and gentlemen, this is super amazing. We are going to be doing this as a food machine style event, just like the last one that was held in my house. We're not going to hold one in my house again. My house isn't big enough for all this excitement. We are going to be feeding people in Racine, Wisconsin. We have the highest unemployment in the entire state of Wisconsin in Racine. People are fucking hurting right here in River City. And we are going to help them out. We are going to be donating food. And for every canned good that you bring to JohnCon 2017, you're going to get a ticket. For every $1 you donate, you're going to get a ticket. Ladies and gentlemen, we have prize support coming in from that bucket over there. We have prize support coming from Tectonic Craft Studios. We have Privateer Press lined up. We have Aaron the Dream Maker. We have, ladies and gentlemen, we have more prize support than Donald Trump has lies. We have things coming in from people we don't even know where they're coming in from. But it is the September 8th, 9th, and 10th in Racine at the Moose Lodge. Holy shit, John.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm excited. We are so here's how this all came down, because this is pretty exciting. Last year we had to cap it out as being a strict invitational, because my house. It had to. There's only so many people we're going to put in Ron's pub, and it was butt bumping time as it stood. And we had to limit the number of people that we had in our food machine event. I think we had 8. We are going to be up to 50 this year.
Wow.
The room can handle 150, but we don't want to get like that because we want to have room for board games. We want to have time for, we want to have places for people to play War Machine. We'll have whatever you want. We'll figure it out. If you want to play a game of Guild Ball, shit, I got one of those Guild Ball mats. We can play it on that. We'll be having colossal wrestling. We're going to have all kinds of stuff, folks. It's going to be great. I'm very excited about this. John, you had talked about coming out for JohnCon 2017. Do I have your commitment?
Oh, yeah. Shit.
Fuck yeah.
I'm looking for plane tickets tomorrow.
Come see John and John in the flesh. Gonzo, will you be coming to JohnCon 2017?
I am going to try my hardest, but that is a little far out, and I will do my damnedest to be there.
Okay, we might have an irrational Gonzo in the house. So, Fraser, you're way there in Canada. That's like 400,000 miles from here. It's a little bit to ask for you. That's like, what, 0.6 light years? So, spin up that frame shift drive. You might be able to make it if you leave tomorrow. But we're very excited for people who can make it. Now, Racine is not a cosmopolitan place. I'm going to warn you, okay? So we're going to try and line up hotels as far as we're going to offer a guide. I'm not going to be reserving any blocks of – this is not quite that big yet. But who knows in the future. So we're going to have it at the Moose Lodge. It's going to be fantastic. We'll try to get some hotels lined up. Right now, the big date is the 9th. If you can only make it in for one day, come in for the 9th. That's the one that's going to be at the Moose Lodge. On the 8th and the 10th, we're going to have activities that are going to be based around probably here at Casa John or seeing things in the area. We're going to have, I've talked to my friends at Starbucks. We're going to have a coffee and beer tasting for charity on that Friday the 8th. I've got 3 to 5 pounds of good reserve coffee coming in from Seattle. And then we're also going to have some really good beers from Beer Machine Rich. And so he's going to be here. And so we'll have a charity beer tasting. We're going to charge admission. This year, folks, we're going to have to charge admission to kind of get us over the hump on some of these new bigger plans that we've got. And then we're going to be offering more tickets based upon what you donate. So it's going to be super sweet. We're not as sophisticated as Fraser. We don't. His plan blew me away. I'm a little too freeform for all that nonsense. But we may not make as much. We also have just gotten that commitment from Aaron the Dream Maker that he's going to make something for us, and that is super sweet and totally legit. That guy can make the shit out of wood. He can do things with it. He'll probably use a lathe or a mill, or probably use some chisels on it or something, some woodworking shit, and it'll be super amazing. But we're very, very excited to have him on board. He's from Washington. He's from Seattle. So maybe I'll just have him pack up Aaron in one of those boxes when they send the coffee over, and he can just come with. It'll be super sweet and totally. That'll work, right, John?
I don't think it works like that, but we give it a shot.
Well, with technology, we'll probably have transportation or teleportation designed all up by then. So probably just like in the spaceships and Star Trek and things. So there you go. I'm so excited. I can't stand it. Can you, Gonzo?
No, I'm actually kind of stoked because I'm going to try my hardest. I so want to go that I will probably be running some RPGs for you.
That would be amazing. We can get some RPG going. It's going to be great. The folks at the Moose Lodge ain't seen nothing like this before. It's going to be Nerd Central descending on the Moose Lodge. It's going to be something they've never experienced. I promise you that. We are very excited about this, but we are not the only one in town. You're going to hear more and more about JohnCon coming up and how to get tickets and all that crap as soon as I figure it out. But we have other John charities that reached out to us when they heard we were doing a charity broadcast. Do you have anybody else? There's one in particular I want to make sure we don't forget because I just got done burying the hatchet with these guys. I want to talk about the charity event coming up in June with Crippled System guys.
Yeah, actually, he's posted a little thing. Andy Welton, Major Tusk from Crippled System, has a local charity event going on June 24th. He says it's going to be a different style of Frankenstein event in Madison, Wisconsin. You can find details on his Facebook page or on the PP forums.
Boom. I highly recommend that. Madison is a lovely place to be in June. It's a wonderful city. By the way, one thing we didn't mention about JohnCon, having it on September 9th means the weather won't be complete ass in Racine. So it'll actually be pretty nice at that point. So you can get down to the lake. If you're a person who likes to go down to the beach, we have one of the top 5 freshwater beaches in the entire United States. And that is not bullshit. That is actually rated by somebody on internets. And they said that for reals. And it's cool. North Beach doesn't suck. We might actually just go down there and drink beer or something if they let you do that. I'm not sure. But we could do that. So Crippled Systems, they're doing a thing in Madison. If you're near Madison and you want to do the charity thing, Andy does an awesome job running charity events. Get on over there. John, what else do we have to pimp while we're talking about this stuff?
Well, I want everyone to go to the Facebook page, not necessarily to like us, so that's cool, but Adam Williams posted a very long post on our page about what you can do charity-wise. And this isn't even like a big thing, but it's just for, little kids and all. He goes on about how he had some younger kids show up, start playing War Machine, and then fall off because, some of those kids don't have the money to get models and all. So he's even talking on the little, local level, but it's a good read. I suggest you get up there and take a read on that.
Yep, the Toys for Kids or Models for Kids, or I believe is the name of his charity.
Yeah.
So yeah, super sweet. Want to make sure that we got a shout out to him as well. Thank you very much on that, John. Did anybody else reach out to us with any other charity events that are coming up in the near future?
Not that I have seen.
Okay, folks, I want to make ourselves available in the future. If you've got a charity event that you're going to be running something, we want to talk about it. We want to make sure that we're kind of karmically aligned with all of this because we've kind of identified ourselves that is something that we can do to help the community and help others. Folks, we're very blessed. If we're playing this game, which is not a cheap game, we that's a luxury. And there are a lot of people who are struggling to breathe or struggling to eat or struggling for lots of different reasons. And this is something that we can do to give back for all the bounty that we have in our lives. So on behalf of John and Gonzo and Fraser, please do get out there and support your local charities. Do something to help others around you. You won't believe how the universe will give back to you. And when you become more about others and less about yourself. Fraser?
I was going to say, and if anyone is doing charity events and they want some suggestions or see how we're doing it, if you want to reach out to me, and if you want an annoying video with a monster truck voice, I could do that. Or if you had any kind of feedback, suggestions on how to approach us, I'm more than happy to help anyone else who wants to do something along these lines. Just because I think it's right. It's like this community is, and that's blown me away having seen some of the stuff other communities, just how much this group seems to come together and be able to be very selfless when it comes to that. And just especially just seeing them, the amount of money they spend on tickets just so they can re-roll to annoy their opponent across the table. It's glorious to watch.
Yep. And I think we would be remiss if we didn't mention the great grandfather of all these charity events, and that's Food Machine. And
absolutely.
And the Beer Machine boys, the folks in Buffalo do an amazing Food Machine event. Adam, I know, is one of the poobahs over there that does a ton of work with that. Hats off to those guys because I'll be honest, I've stolen most of the rules for JohnCon from them just straight up. But we don't give them credit. No, we just say it's our idea because, we invented Prime the Pump too. Just ask us. Anyway, so I hear that one's going around. So anyhow,
the Beer Machine. Yeah, Beer Machine. I went last year. It was a fantastic event. It's if you're anywhere near the Buffalo area or Southern Ontario, you need to go to it because it is fantastic.
Plus, Buffalo food and Buffalo beer is hard to beat. The town has really resurged in the last decade or so, and so Buffalo used to be like Racine. Buffalo is now not like Racine, and it's really super sweet and totally legit. So get on out there, and boy, I'll tell you what, I think anything else we want to talk about as far as charities, John, or Gonzo, or Fraser?
Not just a note for you to remind me, because I might be able to get some of the local businesses to, one of the ones I work with has actually mentioned that they'd be interested in potentially donating to charities.
Yeah.
Especially if I'm involved, because we've got a good relationship. So work on that. That's actually a good thing. If you're working with businesses, there's a lot of businesses that have a charity budget. And if you talk to them, maybe you can get them to donate to your charity.
And also go out of the gaming field as well. I reached out to our local barber who does a lot of. He's known for doing beards and trims and stuff like that. And most of the players I know in my area are hairy, so everyone needs a haircut. So go find out a really good barber.
Did your barber by any chance help you with that magnificent handlebar mustache that you're sporting?
No, that's all. Actually, no. He unfortunately sabotaged it, so I haven't been able to do it for a little while. So I finally got it back in place.
Oh my. Well,
Yes.
don't ask him for.
I'm still a little bitter about that one, so I'm not
Okay.
gonna go on too much about that.
No, we won't
Other
go.
than that, he's fantastic.
Won't go there. No, that's a really good point, though. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that a lot of businesses, they can write that stuff off, and they're more than happy to help you with that. That's at least for now, that's a cool part of our tax code, is that businesses are incented to help others. And I know that I'll be reaching out to some different local businesses that can probably do some stuff that we can donate. We'll get that prize pool up. Like I said, I got a whole tub of prize support over there. Privateer, we've done a good job, I think, on this show of kind of patching the damage that I've personally done between the relationship. I'm not going to lump Gonzo and John into my bullshit, but I did talk to Privateer this week, and boy, are they super sweet to work with right now. And they're going to help us out. Future broadcasts, we're going to be having Will Hungerford on to talk about some of his design games. We're going to be talking about them Colossal Wrestling. We're going to get my son on during that one. We're going to get Chuck on the podcast for that one because that's his favorite thing in the whole wide world. And we're going to talk about the pirate game and all that kind of good stuff because, that's karmically. I'm pretty sure we're going to have a Colossal Wrestling event at JohnCon. I think that's got to be a thing that happens. So
has to be a thing.
Absolutely, we're gonna be ready to rumble. That's for damn sure. So, what do you got there? I got to. Oh yeah, gotta get a little Mountain King and a little Glacier King.
Actually, I'll step it up one little bit.
Oh, shut up! You got LEDs in that bad boy. Oh yeah, that's nice.
So, just to throw it back to Battle for Breath, because that's what I do. The gentleman that helped light up this for Dallas is the one who's lighting up the Hydra. So we're the Desert Hydra. We're getting lit up. It's going to be painted to order. I'm still trying to figure out who's going to paint it, but I'm also going to create custom foam for it as well. So this guy does fantastic work.
So you need to actually, you and I, Fraser, need to talk offline because I think I need to get him on the show. Because I've always wondered how you go about doing something like that because it mystifies me, and I would love to try something like that. I mean, my Siege toilet's awesome, but boy, if it was glowing from LEDs, that would be super awesome.
I think you can see the
see
the spots where it has it.
Yeah,
but it usually means a lot of drilling, and if you don't have a mask, inhaling a lot of resin.
Yeah. Which we do not suggest.
No,
not in the least.
No, get a mask. They're not that expensive. So anyway, so super cool. And, guys, Battle for Breath, get on over there. John put it up in the chat room before. We'll be putting a little post on the Facebook. 3 people are watching us on Facebook tonight, guys. That's great.
We topped out at 4.
Yeah, that's great. For the first time we ever tried it. So
yeah, that's not bad at all.
We're going to keep on doing it because nobody's getting any dropped frames or anything. It's just working great.
Very nice.
Folks, by the way, we've been a little bit slow in posting our episodes recently, and that's my fault. This guy right here. I'm gonna kind of recommit to getting them out within a day or two of the broadcast. So I haven't. Work has been a bucket of suck lately, and
preach on, brother, preach on.
Yeah. So it's been very, very hard to have time.
Well, that's not just me then.
No, I might be working on roasteries in Shanghai, Tokyo, Milan, Chicago, and New York, all at the same time.
Well, that's not good. Same time. I was like, Chicago's not so bad. That's not really far for you.
Well, so far it's just design work. So that's a funny thing. I'm gonna be starting up the Chicago roastery, and my whole transportation for a month will cost the same as 2 nights in a hotel in Chicago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I'm saving Starbucks money
no doubt.
by living here.
When's the one coming to Toronto?
I was a little bit surprised, Fraser, that they haven't announced one there yet. And if I'm talking like that, you'll know that I have not heard even a thing about it yet then. But I think what they're planning on doing is they've got these 5 that they want to get open, and then we'll see how they do, and then we'll see how they go after that. Seattle's been a rousing success, and it's the shit that the coffee is so good. Holy shit!
It looks so impressive. I was very jealous to see the pics from last year's lock and load.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun starting that place up. And I worked with a great team. And the team that I worked on to open that place up is the same one I'm working on Chicago and New York with. So it's a lot of fun that way. I got a pretty cool job. It's good times. So anyway, let's see. What else should we talk about here, guys? It seems like a little late to start painting, though, doesn't it?
That was just a cunning plan to not paint high shields. I see how it is.
Well, I did paint my siege crawler today, so I feel good about that. That's the first time I've picked up a paintbrush in like a week and a half. So I haven't forgotten how to paint. At least that's a good thing.
Well, that's good. Yeah, I gotta nail down a retribution scheme. Try and get back in the groove of painting.
You know, Fraser, while we got you on here, let's talk a little trolls.
Sure.
Let's talk a little trolls because I'm a troll, an AirSats troll player, and one of the things that there has been a fair amount of negativity around is trolls, and I'm interested to get your perspective on how you feel the CID has gone. What do you think will and will not survive the CID process, and where do you think trolls are headed in the future?
Well, from the CID, we've got the new theme list. So it's the Krill Company, which is the shooty list, and then we've got the the War Wagon.
Mm-hmm.
I really am going to hang on to every desperate thought, and that War Wagon makes it through as is. My only complaint I've said on the Troll Blood Scrum is that it's too bad Kador gets it as well. So they don't need anything else. They don't need anything else. Just leave it for trolls. But the so it'll be interesting because I mean, and I don't think we've seen anything clear CID yet. So even the Grimkin, none of the rules. So we don't know what the impact will be once it leaves CID and goes into actual become official rules. So part of me wonders if the War Wagon right now is too cheap at 16 points for what it does. Being able to do tramp or impact attacks without moving at all is and unlimited seems very, very good. Almost too good for the point cost it is. Whether it needs to be a point more to balance that out, I think most people would pay the original 18 points for that if it's a case, but we'll see. The Krill Company CID theme, I'm still trying to figure out how good it's going to be. I mean, being limited to only shooting units or shooting models at all really limits you for just a +1 on the starting roll and the free points. I mean, in most cases you can get, I mean, with my double War Wagon list, I got free 16 points. So free Fellcaller, Breland, and the Pummeler crew. I guess if I wanted to be greedy, I could go 18 points if I took 3 Pummeler crews. But I'm not convinced on that theme list. I like what Power Dunia and what the Band of Heroes do. Band of Heroes, especially with being a good drop into Ghost Fleet because of all the removing tough and doing everything from move from play. So it's a good answer to some of the Crix pieces. So it's, I mean, overall, I mean, I've never been, although I go to tournaments on occasion, I've never been a really competitive player. I just sort of, because I don't know, I'm still trying to learn all my own rules, let alone remember what everyone else's rules do. So half the time it's a surprise. I walk into a game, I'd say, what does this do? Okay, well, I'm going to ask you that like 4 more times, and I'm going to forget before the point when you move it, the model again. That was I'm sure my Crix player was a little annoyed with me asking the same question like 3 or 4 times. But I find it's, for what I play, I still enjoy the game. I still manage to pull off wins on occasion, probably more sheer luck than anything. But I think I think people need to expand what they bring in Trolls, and that's the issue. Is people always want to bring the same stuff every single time.
Yeah,
you need to look at different things, like the sluggers. I mean, they pretty much were part of my assassination run.
Hi.
No, sorry.
Hi there.
So we're
we like guest appearances, Fraser. Don't worry about it.
That's okay. That was Emma. She's not shy. So the sluggers are something where I have never been a big fan of because of the D3 shots. So the randomness says if I'm rolling D3, I'm rolling 1 on every single thing. But they pretty much were a good chunk of my assassination run against the Iron Mother on last week. So I think people just need to expand and look at things differently. And as a personal goal, I want to see scattergunners come back because I love those models. I love the thought of 10 POW 12 sprays that you can shoot through your own guys and your own lists. Especially with Horgel, I put together a fun Horgel 2 list that had scattergunners. Then I played Will from this Death Clock at 60 minutes into his shooting mercs list, and he just annihilated it. So, but I think, again, going back to the original thought, is I think people just need to try something different. Don't get suckered into playing the same thing time and time again.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of the spray. The spray list, like the scattergunners. I mean, when I was playing Protectorate up until a few weeks ago, the cleansers were literally in every list that I had, and there was even at Rat 5 they get a lot of work done. So, I found when Mark III rolled around for the trolls, the problem I was having is I had this package of champions with Scaldi, a hero, a warders, and then a stone, and it was always the same. That package was like in every list that I had, and then you added things depending upon what your personal preference was. So I think that what you're preaching as far as list diversity is something that has been a problem for trolls and is something that needs to be explored more greatly.
Agreed.
Absolutely. Actually, I would go as far as say probably all armies need it to some extent or another.
Agreed, John. List diversity is something that we've talked about on this show, I think, on more than one occasion, as far as where theme lists are causing a problem around list diversity. And
They are.
until we get to a point where there's enough theme list diversity to drive list diversity, as long as the theme lists there doesn't become such overt power within a particular theme list, maybe that's our savior, is that if anybody's playing 12 over, everybody's playing 12 over.
You're true. That'll help a little bit of diversity, but it'll still hurt a bit of diversity. Now they can get through that, I think, but I think they have to wait till theme lists get to what they call where they want the maximum density to be. And they have to start looking at stuff and making some stuff friendly rather than friendly faction, so that the temptation and lure of mercenaries and minions may pull you out of theme.
Yeah.
I think that would be a good way forward. But right now, there's almost no mercenary in the game that can make you want to play out of theme.
I think that's true.
I agree. I mean, going to this qualifier this last weekend, I played 3 themes because it was a 3-list event. All 3 were themes. Pretty much everybody I played against had a theme list. Very few people didn't have a theme list.
Yeah.
So, I mean, top type competition. I mean, we had some pretty big top tier players that were there, and pretty much everything was in theme.
Yeah, I mean, when I was playing Protectorate, I played 2 of my 3 lists for theme. Now that I've gone over to Ret, all 3 of mine are theme. And it's got to be something pretty damn compelling that makes you piss away 9 to 12 or more points.
I just don't like the way some of the themes build.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like I've been poking around with Retribution lists for maybe a day now, and I just don't necessarily like the way that they're building, and it may hurt me later, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a legitimate complaint, John. Fraser, what are you seeing in the troll community? Are you seeing a lot of crystallization around particular themes as well?
Well, I think everyone's feeling the same thing about why would I take a list that doesn't give me 9 to 12 extra points? I mean, you have to sort of keep up with the Joneses that way.
Yeah.
Power of Dunia is a great theme, but it's basically a beast theme because there's your troops that you're allowed to bring are very limited. And as much as I love Rune Shapers and have had success with them at 9 points for 3 models, that's pricey for what they do, and you can't necessarily justify it. There seemed to be a little bit of resistance for doing Band of Heroes which kind of surprised me. But especially with that, we're being able to remove from play for it. But I think we're beginning to see more people sort of balance it. You'll see if they're in competitive events, there's usually one Band of Heroes theme and one Power of Dunya theme.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's rare to see anything outside of that.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's kind of a recurring theme on the show here, where we've been talking about themes and where the potential. It's a watch out for Privateer right now. It is probably a. Go ahead, John.
I'm really, really worried. Honestly, the more I look at stuff, it makes me question where this game's going to be in a year or two's time. I mean, it's going to be the same thing it was before, just more pronounced. Before,
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't have this problem. People would play certain themes a lot, but, the tournament rules had evolved to the point where that wasn't, the perfect answer. Divide and conquer and such had made it a little more balanced, but with no divide and conquer, which is fine because no character restrictions, no divide and conquer, that seems fair. But there's no reason to play out a theme unless you really have something crazy you want to do. And even then, you try and fit it in theme.
Yeah. It feels. Go ahead, Fraser. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, I wonder if they're playing. Because have they ever told us how many themes they want per? Like, they don't go back to what it was in Mark II, where you pretty much had like 8 or 10 themes, one for each caster. Because I mean, right now with Trolls, they're the first theme that'll allow you to play Fire Eaters, which were huge in Mark II and in the beginning of Mark III. The only one you can play is the new Creel Company theme. Neither of the other two would allow you to bring them. So the fact that I wonder if they're going to eventually have a theme where if you want a model, you have 1 or 2 themes you can pick from that. If there's maybe 6 or 8 themes per faction, and you sort of have to pick your theme on which, depending on what base models you want to start with.
So I'm gonna.
I think.
Go ahead, Gonzo.
Go
ahead, Gonzo, and then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna throw out a conspiracy theory. So go ahead and Gonzo.
Yay.
I have a feeling, and pure speculation, because we can go off of what Khador has, because Khador has 3 theme lists right now, but we also have a 4th one coming, which is the Man of War, which has already been said they're getting. So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if every faction got 6 to 8 theme lists to cover all the things, because I looked at Khador, and not only do we have the Man of Wars, but we also have Grey Lords that could be a theme. We got the 5th Border Legion that could be a theme, because it's definitely a fluffy type thing. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we got 6 to 8. And even though you'll have 6 to 8 theme lists, you're going to have some that people are just never going to take because they just don't get it or don't like it. So we're going to have some diversity, but there's really no reason not to take a theme list if it's got some good stuff in it, just for an extra 12 points.
So I'm going to toss out a conspiracy theory. Perhaps the Privateers become satisfied with their base rule set. And what we're going to be seeing now, the way that they're going to refresh the game, is they're going to erase the theme lists and recreate the theme lists every 2 years, so that they don't have to go through all the trouble of rebalancing, but they can rebalance the theme lists, which is a more tractable problem, and refresh the game using theme lists rather than refreshing the game through a core mechanical change the way they did between Mark II and Mark III. Thoughts?
I would say that's the opposite of a conspiracy theory. I would say that is actually refreshing, and goddamn, I hope that's on their plate.
I think it is a good way to move forward.
I don't know if they'll, like, in 2 or 3 years, maybe get rid of all the theme lists and make whole new ones, because that would be a big change. Because I know a lot of people have bought a lot of models just based on theme lists.
We'll get to
and
those
if you
people.
take and go, no, you can't do it this way, but doesn't mean they can't.
And that's not to say that if this becomes the new norm, that won't be a viable strategy by which to purchase your models. Okay, yep, sure. This model, I have a couple of these I wish I didn't have. But, 2 years from now or a year from now, maybe there's going to be a new thing. I think that there is more flexibility to change the game without alienating, without having to relearn the game by going along the lines of this theme list kind of a thing. But I don't know. We'll see. The theme lists are certainly driving different behaviors. Before the theme lists, I don't know that I would have been playing Thyra as much as I did in Protectorate, because ambushing daughters is hilarious, and that is driven by a theme list. Maybe there's now that we're getting an exemplar theme list, that might drive some people to play more exemplars. Who knows? Just a thought. Throwing that out there. It totally looks like this bottle of Kraken's going up my nose.
It does. Or in your
It's not
eye.
supposed to.
You're
I can
supposed
put
to
it in my
drink
eye.
it, not sniff it.
I don't see.
Yeah.
I don't have that. I don't have any thing left in that bottle of Kraken as I'm looking down it. Anyway, so there we go.
No, it's because I think you watched a Marvel movie or something
A Marvel movie, you say?
and needed more than one shot of Kraken. You probably watched Superman versus Batman.
Fuck that movie.
The whole bottle.
So on behalf of Fraser, I'm drinking Canada Dry. Next,
Oh,
this is raspberry water. Where the hell is this even made? Plano, Texas. That's almost Canada, right?
Yeah.
That's like the most
Right across
opposite
the
of
border.
Kansas. That's like the most opposite of Canada ever.
Southern Canada.
Southern Canada, exactly.
Deep South.
So, anyway, so there we are. That's our discussion of charity things. We talked a little bit of trolls and all that kind of stuff. Now, at this point, we didn't pre-ramble about movies. I hope we have something to talk about. John? Gonzo?
I actually didn't get to watch any movies at all, but I do have something that really super excited me,
Okay.
and it goes to go with your movie thing that you're going to be doing. Because
Okay.
you watched the Muppet movie.
Yes, I did watch the Muppet movie.
And it goes with they're doing a prequel to Dark Crystal on Netflix.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, that movie, that's so much childhood memories and such a great show. Even today, you can still watch it and go, damn, that was cool.
I have never seen The Dark
and-
Crystal.
What? Get the fuck out.
Yep. I am.
Wait.
We are watching it
Unfriend.
this week.
Man.
Holy crap.
We are watching it this week.
You better put that up. I
Um,
mean,
Oh my
that
god.
movie, it was, at time, it was incredible. And just to see what they're going to do, because it's still being done by Henson and all that stuff, I'm like super stoked. I can't wait for it to come out, because it's a prequel to the movie, and I have no clue what they're going to do. I don't even know if it's going to be a TV series. I just know that they're going to do it, and I'm super happy about it.
Shut up, down.
Yeah, 100%.
I didn't even watch the trailer yet, but I'm like, yeah, man, just put the chips right there. All in.
Yep,
Let's go.
100%. We haven't had a good, solid Muppet Henson type thing in a long time,
Yeah.
and they can really do good with that.
yeah. Okay. So everybody needs to get off my ass. Okay, right now. So I'm 48 years old, and The Dark Crystal and Labyrinth fell in a time that target audience at that time didn't hit me. Okay, so y'all just calm the fuck down and just relax. I've already taken care of Labyrinth, and now I'm taking care of Dark Crystal. Thank you, Labyrinth, for making me watch fucking crotch the whole time that I was watching it, okay? Anyway.
Once you notice it, it is like, oh my god.
That dude, it was all
Yeah.
package all the time. So,
But that's
Yeah.
what you like.
no. I mean, I don't have a problem with it, but I just like, all things considered, if I could not
that
have watched
was-
this package all movie, that'd have been great.
I think that's where we got the crotch cam from. Is he kept on watching that? He's like, I have to be just like him, so I need it too.
No, I
I'm
can't.
not sure David Bowie could hide his behind a
I-
100
I-
a big base.
I can't. Not for nothing. You're correct. I'm pretty sure I could not fill out those tights quite the same way that David Bowie could. And by the way, Belinda just said I didn't notice until I pointed it out. That's a load of shit. That is absolute fake news.
Good
I
cover.
didn't notice until my roommate sent me a video about it, and then I'm like, I could not unsee it.
Yeah, it's pretty much all Pecker all the time on that show.
Yeah, I know. Whew.
You need to get you and your kids together and watch Dark Crystal.
Yep, it's on the agenda for this week. It's on the
That-
agenda for this week.
That thing is just, it's so good. It's still got a good story. It's still amazing to watch. It's still got good scenes. I mean, come on, it's Henson Studios. I
Yeah.
miss Henson Studios.
I literally have no idea what it's about, and that's how I want it. I just want to go in and watch
what
it
you go into a
and
movie.
experience it.
It's good.
So,
So I did not get to watch any movie, so I was just like super stoked about that.
John, you got anything for us this week?
I did not get to watch any movies because I worked a ton of hours this week, but I did get 2 more episodes into season 2 of The Expanse, and I'm loving it.
Oh, yeah. Boy, are you in for a good season.
I'm about episode 9-ish.
Yeah, you're in for a good season.
Yeah.
You did hear about what they did to The Expanse, right? They
Yep.
released a press release a couple of days ago. Yeah, they actually pushed that season back by another year.
What?
No, I'm fucking with you, dude.
That's bullshit. Don't even do that to me.
Not
The
worse than
Expanse.
they've done with my favorite show.
Uh-oh. What's your favorite show?
So my favorite show is coming back after 26 years.
Roseanne?
Twin Peaks.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm sorry for you.
Actually,
good luck.
Twin Peaks. Yeah, well, no, I love that show. I've been marathoning it just the last week, so I haven't done any movies. But
David Lynch
we're
can
almost
kiss
done
my
season 2.
ass.
Wow.
You'd be so lucky to have him
Fuck
do
that.
so.
Fuck that guy. Fuck that guy and everything he's ever done except Dune. And fuck that too.
Oh, Dune was glorious.
Dune was okay. But Eraserhead,
I'm a huge Lynch fan.
I'm so sorry. Off this show.
Yes.
I'm sorry. You're breaking up, Fraser. I can't quite hear
Okay.
you. I'm losing your signal.
Let's see if I can make a reprieve. So I haven't seen any movies, but I am going to a festival this coming weekend locally. The local Second Run Theater is doing a Miyazaki festival. So they're
that's super sweet.
playing pretty much every Miyazaki film I haven't seen in the theater. So I plan on Saturday being there for 8 hours for it was Totoro, Castle in the Sky,
Nice.
Howl's Moving Castle, and then Spirited Away.
Nice.
And then
Sweet.
they also have Red Turtle, and we're not going to go see Princess Mononoke just because it's a little intense for the 10-year-old. And we saw, actually, here's my humble brag. They went to the premiere of the Toronto International Film Festival for Princess Mononoke in 2001, sat in the front row and said, no, we don't want to be in the front row. So we moved up to the balcony. If I had stayed in the seat I was in, I would have been about 5 feet away from Miyazaki when he came on the stage and got like a 10-minute standing ovation.
Yeah.
I was so ticked with myself that I wasn't able to be
Yeah.
that close. But no, so the whole family is pretty much camping out of the theater next weekend to watch a bunch of Miyazaki films on the big screen,
Super sweet.
which everyone should do if they get a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For those, I'm pretty sure everybody that's watching this show is probably a fan of Miyazaki. Did we
I hope so.
did we lose the Facebook feed?
We did lose the Facebook feed.
Okay, I don't know what happened there, but I'll go ahead and turn it back on. There must be a time limit. So I'm going to turn it back on. It shouldn't be that hard to turn it back on, I think.
Yeah, they just missed a little bit of not talking about movies because we haven't talked about really movies yet.
So it's back.
Except you not seeing the Dark Crystal.
Yeah. Okay. So that's good. Thank you for pointing that back out, jackass. So no,
What other movie have you not seen that's worth seeing? God.
Gonzo
Rock and
sucks
Roll.
dick. That's the one I haven't seen.
I was a little jealous. Someone on my Facebook feed, I think it was Snodgrass, was watching Smokey and the Bandit in the theater, and I'm like,
Nice.
I am jealous of that.
Smoking the Bandit was legit.
I would go see that in the theater, absolutely.
Yep, there's some good. That was back in when Sally Field was all that and a bag of chips too. She was cute. But anyhow, so I did see a movie this week, and
What?
I know I did watch a movie this week and watched it last night with Belinda, and it was the first Muppet movie, and the original Muppet movie, the one that starts off with Rainbow Connection as the first song, and it basically gives you the backstory of how Kermit was going to Hollywood, and this is approximately a 90-minute long cameo appearance by every star from the 1980s or before. Milton Berle, Edgar Bergen, and Charlie McCarthy. God, who all's in this movie?
Who
This is
isn't?
Yeah.
it's literally everybody is in this movie at one time or another. Steve Martin, before his hair went completely white, is in this movie. It is hilarious. It is such a nice, gentle, happy movie with a great message. It's wonderful. I highly recommend it. Excuse me, I was burping there.
It even has great musical numbers too.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I watched it recently with my kids, and I was surprised how well it stood the time of time. How well it stood up after this amount of time. Like it's actually been something that you can see it, and kids even now today can appreciate a lot of it. And it's got it's a great buddy movie as well, right? Because you got Kermit with all the with
Gonzo and
Gonzo
Fozzie
and the dog Ralph the dog.
Oh my God!
Fuzzy.
So Kermit's riding a bicycle, which is a seminal moment in this movie. Watching Kermit, because we've never seen the frog's legs moving before, and he's riding the bike and he gets run over by a blacktop machine, and he looks at the camera and goes, "I didn't realize I was in Gone with the Schwinn." Oh my God! It was such a good pun. There are so many amazing puns in this movie. Paul Williams, a long-standing regular on the old Hollywood Squares, was in this movie. He wrote some of the music, and he was the piano player in this one CD bar and stuff like that, where Fozzie Bear was a stand-up comedian. It was just tremendous, folks.
He wrote the Rainbow Connection. Thumbs up there.
Yeah, MJ knew all the words to the songs. I sure did, but I will say also that Belinda knew the words better even than I did, though. She was way on top of some of the songs that I didn't remember. And so it's hats off. It was a lot of fun. She and I were sitting there on the couch singing along to the songs. It was amazing. So get on out there. It's $3.99 on Amazon to rent and worth every penny. So
I'd buy that shit. Fuck.
yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You could probably buy it for $3.99.
Yeah. It was great. What about you, Fraser? You watch any movies this week?
The only one that comes to mind that I watched recently, which I really enjoyed, was the classic '80s rock and roll. I don't know if you guys have seen that one or not. It was a staple here. It was done by Nelvana Studios. Those are the guys that went on to do things like the Care Bear movie and a bunch of the kids stuff in the '80s into the '90s. But they did it was their answer to heavy metal.
Okay.
But it was a little bit more tuned. So it has music by Iggy Pop, Lou Reed. I think David. I don't think Bowie's in it. Deborah Harry is one of the voice actors for it, and it's basically a post-apocalypse. This Iggy Pop type character is supposed to be basically ripping a hole in reality to bring the demons in to take over the planet, and it's a kids movie. So
sounds like something Iggy Pop would do.
They used to air it on CBC, the Canadian Broadcasting Channel, on a regular basis, and it was always a coup when you got it. And it's one of those movies. I'm sure you guys had the same thing. Where it's a movie where you've gotten to the point where you've quoted the line so often that you forget it's from that movie. The movie Heathers was like that as well. I rewatched Heathers recently, and I realized, half of my quotes are from that movie. But it was just so many that I was watching with my kids, and they were looking at me oddly because I kept sort of saying the line before the line came on. I knew the film so well, but if you can find rock and roll, it is definitely a fun film to watch. I'll see if I can find a link for you guys to check it out.
Cool.
If I recall correctly, it's more fun than heavy metal, not nearly as intense.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, it's not to the same. It's not an R-rated movie by any stretch of the imagination. It's more like anthropomorphic type characters, and then basically trying to save the world using rock and roll.
Yeah. God, heavy metal. It's been a while since I've queued that one up.
Yeah.
Another Canadian film.
I really enjoy heavy metal. I really enjoy that movie. I enjoy the different stories. I love how it's so many cautionary tales about greed and what it does to people. It's trippy, but it's really a fun movie.
And a really good soundtrack.
Yeah, it's an amazing soundtrack.
It's one of those movies that you have to see once, and you know what it's about and you're good with it. But
Yeah.
that movie broke a lot of boundaries when it first came out, though.
Damn Skippy, it
absolutely.
did.
Yeah.
The Heavy Metal 2000 wasn't as good as the original Heavy Metal. I think it tried to capture the same spirit, but I don't know that it was 100% effective. Soundtrack
It's
wasn't
hard
as
to
good.
because that's one of those ones. Once it's out, you can't recapture that spirit because most of us who found it at a certain age when that was exactly the kind of rebellious type of movie we wanted to watch.
Yeah. And if the music for that the Sammy Hagar did in that opening sequence where the Corvette is landing on the planet, that could not possibly be more perfect for
Oh yeah.
for that movie.
Yeah.
Anyhow, we should probably in the last 10 minutes let's just revisit once again Battle for Breath. Let's come back here to the face cam, as we call it, on this particular show because that's what it's labeled on XSplit. Let's give the folks one more chance here to talk a little bit about Battle for Breath. Fraser, go.
So Battle for Breath is our charity tournament and raffle for cystic fibrosis, June 3rd in Hamilton, Ontario at Black Knight Games. That's Tim Banky's store. We'll be doing a food machine style event. I actually believe one of the things you can do is you can actually play CID rules. You'll be able to spend tickets to be able to play CID. So if there's something broken in your that's going through CID, bring it. It'll be fun. And we also have the the raffle. The raffle can be entered anywhere in the world. There's an explanation on the Facebook page, but it basically the idea is you donate to the CF Battle for Breath team page on the CF Canada or Cystic Fibrosis Canada website. Then you go into our raffle form and you put your donation amount. That you figure how many tickets you have and you put them towards some of the excellent prizes we have, which, in case people didn't realize, you can actually win a guest appearance on this very podcast. So there you go. You can talk with these guys.
I know, right? How fucking lucky would you be?
What's that?
How fucking lucky would they be? Holy Christ! Talk to us.
Well, yeah, there you go. I mean, there's people chomping at the bit. Same with Beer Machine and Death Head Dice, or not Death Head Dice, sorry, Troll Bullet Scrum. There's also, like I said, we've got the Pillars Halak made by Aaron the Dream Maker, as well as a Xerxes 1 painted by Dallas Kemp, which I've only seen a picture of it, but man, it looks fantastic.
I hear that guy can paint.
Yeah, he knows how to hold a brush or two. Yeah, exactly. So yes, it's less than 2 weeks to go. So make sure if you're going to come down to the event, just accept or just say yes on the event that you're coming. Or if you can't make it to the event, you can always donate through the CF page and do it that way. And if there's any questions, just throw them to the Facebook page, and I'll be more than happy to answer any questions.
Terrific, Fraser. Anything else that we want to talk about? I mean, JohnCon, don't forget it. Whoa, I'm going out of focus. I'm so incredible.
There we go.
The 8th, 9th, and 10th in beautiful and luxurious Racine, Wisconsin. We're going to be conning the fuck out of it at JohnCon 2017. We don't have any details yet on how you get your tickets. There will be a limit of like 50 people. That would be double what we did last year. And John Spencer is committed. Gonzo's going to work real hard on it. And we're going to try real hard to get the whole team. Rich from Beer Machine will be in town. So, we'll probably do some kind of a podcast thing at some point during the course of the evening to talk it up. But, hey, I hope you all can make it for JohnCon 2017, benefiting the food shelf of Racine, Wisconsin, and Walden 3, which is the middle school that my son goes to, we kind of run the food donations through that, and then all the monies and all the food goes to the middle school, and then that goes to the Racine Food Shelter. So it's super sweet and totally legit. And I hope everybody has enjoyed tonight's episode of Painting with Menoth John. We're gonna go ahead and start the music because that's how we end these shows.
Yeah, if you've got a charity event coming up, make sure you hit us up so we can mention it, at least on the podcast, get it out to more people.
Absolutely. Contact us via the Painting with Menoth John Facebook page. If you'd rather email us, that's pwmenothjohn@gmail.com. That comes right to my inbox, and I'll make sure I get it to the rest of the broadcast team. and we would love to help promote your event. That's something that maybe doesn't happen as much as it should. We want to make sure that we get out there and promote these things so that everybody gets the maximum amount of donations, because we're very, very blessed to be able to have the ability to afford our little toys and to be able to play with our friends. So on behalf of Fraser Belfour from the Troll Blood Scrum podcast, the second best podcast in the War Machine and Horde community,
We're number 2.
on behalf of Mr. John Spencer, the wind beneath my wings, and of course everybody's favorite podcast mascot, the Irrational Gonzo, doing the oxycodone dance, I am Menoth John. We will see you next time on Painting with Menoth John. Good night, everybody. Who fucking who?
What?
I stayed on target. I didn't talk about the battle reporter at all.